thanks for joining me. I'm going to read a story. It's one of my favorite stories to read. In fact, it is a story that my preschool teacher read to me when I was in preschool. It's called Caps for Sale. All right. Once, there was a peddler who sold caps, but he was not like an ordinary peddler carrying his wares on his back. He carried them on top of his head. What do you think he sells? Look at that. They're all on top of his head. First, he had his own checked cap. Then a bunch of gray caps and a bunch of brown caps, some blue caps, and on the very top, he had a bunch of red caps. He walked up and down the streets, holding himself very straight so as not to upset his caps. And as he went along, he called, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." One morning, he couldn't sell any caps. He walked up and down the street, and he was calling, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." But nobody wanted any caps that morning. Nobody wanted even a red cap. He began to feel hungry, but he had no money for lunch. "I think I'll go for a walk in the country," said he, and he walked out of town slowly, very slowly, so as not to upset his caps. He walked for a long time until he came to a great big tree. "That looks like a nice place for a rest," thought he, and he sat down very slowly under the tree and leaned back little by little against the tree trunk so as not to disturb the caps on his head. Then he put up his hand to feel if they were straight. First his own checked hat, then the gray caps, and then the brown caps, and then the blue caps, and then the red caps at the very top. They were all there, and so he went to sleep, and he slept for a long time. When he woke up, he was refreshed and rested. But before standing up, he felt with his hand to make sure his caps were in the right place, and all he felt was his own checked cap. I wonder what happened to all his caps. Think, think, think. What do you think might have happened? Tell someone at your house. What could have happened to all his caps? Well, he looked to the right of him. No caps. He looked to the left of him. No caps. He looked in back of him. No caps. And he looked behind the tree. No caps. Then he looked up into the tree. And what do you think he saw? What do you think? On every branch sat a monkey. And on every monkey was a gray or a brown or a blue or a red cap. Look at all of those monkeys. The peddler looked at the monkeys. The monkeys looked at the peddler. He didn't know what to do. So finally, he spoke to them. "You monkeys, you," he said, shaking his finger at them, "you give me back my caps." But the monkeys only shook their fingers back at him and said, Well, that made the peddler angry. And so then he shook both hands and he said, "You monkeys, you give me back my caps." But the monkeys only shook both of their hands back at him and said, Well, now the peddler felt quite angry, and he stamped his foot and he said, "You monkeys, you better give me back my caps." Those monkeys only stamped their feet back at him and said, do you think he's ever going to get his caps back? By this time, the peddler was really very, very angry. He stamped both his feet and he shouted, "You monkeys, you! You must give me back my caps!" But the monkeys only stomped both their feet back at him and said, "Eek, eek, 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 eek." Monkeys are like that. At last, he became so angry that he pulled his own cap off his head and he threw it to the ground. And he began to walk away. But then, each monkey pulled his cap off his head. What do you think the monkeys are going to do with the caps? Tell someone. Quick, quick, tell somebody. And all the gray caps, and all the brown caps, and all the blue caps, and all the red caps came flying down out of the tree. So the peddler quickly picked up his caps and put them back on his head. First, his own checked cap, then the gray caps, then the brown caps, then the blue caps, and the red caps on the very top. And slowly, very slowly, he walked back to town calling, "Caps! Caps for sale! 50 cents a cap!" The end. All right. I hope you guys liked that story. I hope you were able to predict some of the things that happened. I'll be excited to hear about that. I will see you guys next time. Bye.